Hello everyone. In this session, we are going to start AWS. So let's understand what is a cloud computing. So basically, we have tried to understand here what is a cloud computing, and different cloud service providers will provide the cloud computing service. Then let's now understand what is a cloud computing. First of all, okay, to understand the cloud computing, first of all, we try to understand. Suppose guys, if you want to run any business online, if you want to run any business, so what is the setup you have required that you need to do on your premises? Suppose you want to run any website, yes, no, how website is work? Website you can access through client server architecture. It means you require server. In the server, you need to deploy your application and you require one network, yes, no, network. So, and then client can access your applications. So it means server what composed guys? Server is composed compute, memory required, yes, no, storage required where you store in the data, database required, and network required, network like router, switch, DNS server, all this thing is required. So in the term of IT context, IT terminology, yes, no, what is a network? Network is nothing like cable, router, and server that are connected with each other. Router means a networking device that forwards certain data packets between computer networks. And switches you have required switch take a packet and send it to the correct server. So there are a lot of infrastructure setup is required to run any application. So suppose you are running e-commerce application. To run e-commerce application, there is a lot of setup you have required. It means you need to spend lot of money. You require infrastructure. You require space. You need to purchase server. You need to set up networking. Lot of things you require. So let's understand if traditionally how to build how to build infrastructure. So traditionally, when you are building your infrastructure on your premises, suppose if you are running a very small application, so you require a small space like your home, your garbage is sufficient to run your application. But once slowly, your business is growing, you require a big space like office. In the office, whatever infrastructure, setup is required, you need to maintain that infrastructure on your office. So it means you need to spend a lot of money for office, and in the office, whatever infrastructure we require, like server, you need to purchase, networking, lot of server you need to purchase, and then you need to set up. And then you require one data center, suppose your business is growing slowly more, so you require data center where you can manage lot of servers clusters. But what is the problem with IT traditional approach, guys? If you are running your application using the traditional IT approach, what is the problem? So there are big challenges we are facing. First, you need to pay the rent for the data center. There are a lot of money you need to pay, and you need to pay for power supply, cooling, and maintenance also. You require 24/7 hours power supply, and cooling, and you require adding and replacing hardware takes time. Okay, very important part. Suppose guys, initially you have set up your business, only there are 100 servers required to run your business. Suppose in peak time or during the festival time, your business is growing. So now lot of millions of requests coming in your application. So what you need to do, 100 of server is not sufficient. Suppose handling the million of requests, then you need to add more on server in your infrastructure. So suppose in during the peak time or during the festival time, you require to add additional more 100 server to handle the request. So that time you need to add, but whenever you require, you can't immediately add additional resources as per your business requirement. Adding additional resources in your infrastructure as per your business requirement immediately is not possible. So what you need to do, because you need to take lot of approval, you need to purchase the hardware, then you need to set up the hardware, lot of time is required. It means you need to plan, yes, no, before, yes, no, 2, 3 years, 6 months before you need to start to planning when you require additional resources. So this is a very big challenge. Yes, no, adding new resources, yes, no, immediately as per business requirement is not possible with IT traditional approach. And suppose you have add additional 100 server. So during the festival time, yes, no, that you are uses. But after the festival time, yes, no, now your traffic is normal traffic. And now whatever additional resources you have added, now those resources are not in a use. Now you are wasting the resources. Already you have spent lot of money. So this is a very big challenge, just adding and replacing and removing the extra resources as per the business need in our infrastructure. It is a very difficult task in traditional IT approach. So in the traditional IT approach, yes, no, this is a very big challenge as per requirement. We can't scale up our infrastructure. We can't scale down. Scaling means adding additional resources as per business need in our infrastructure. Scaling down means removing the additional resources as per the demand of our business. So scaling is very limited in case of traditional approach. So we can say so scaling is very limited. And now when you are running, yes, no, your business on your premises, so it means you need to hire one team to, which can monitor your infrastructure, which can monitor your server 24/7 hours. And you need to spend a lot of money for that team also because that team needs to be monitor your server 24/7 hours. Now, one more big challenge is when you are handling yes, no, infrastructure with a traditional approach, how to deal with a disaster. Let's suppose you have set up your infrastructure on your premises. There might be chance earthquake, a power shutdown, any disaster happen. So whatever infrastructure you have managed, that infrastructure may be chance of lost. So if your infrastructure gets lost, guys, how you can manage the data because it anyhow how your data should not be lost. So managing, yes, no, dealing disaster is also difficult task in traditional approach. So what is the solution for this approach? So we are thinking, can we externalize all these things instead of managing those things? Can someone can manage? Can we externalize all these things? Yes, now we can externalize all these things using the concept of cloud computing. Now cloud computing comes into the picture to externalize all those resources. It means now if you want to run your business, whatever infrastructure is required on your premises, now no need to manage those infrastructure. So now those infrastructure will be managed by someone. Just you can ask to, yes, no, and you can get that infrastructure. That is cloud computing. So now the solution is come cloud computing. Cloud computing is one of the solution. Cloud computing is one of the solution to handling yes no whatever problem whatever issue we are facing when we are running our business by set up infrastructure on your premises. So cloud computing, what is the cloud computing, guys? Cloud computing is the on-demand delivery of compute resources. In very simple terms, we can say cloud computing is nothing. Any IT resources that is required to run your application, run your business, whatever, yes, no, whatever IT resources, you can say IT resources means IT resource maybe your compute storage resources, storage service, network service, your database service, any IT resources which is required, yes, no, you can access those resources from the internet instead of setup on your premises. That is cloud computing. So cloud computing basically allow to access IT resources over the internet. So you can check this diagram just like when you are running your business on your premises, there are a lot of things you need to set up server, storage, database, application. But now instead of managing on your premises, now you can access from the cloud. So that is called as a cloud computing. So that is called cloud computing. So what is a cloud computing? So we can say cloud computing is the on-demand delivery of compute power, database storage, application, and other IT resources that you can access via the internet with pay as go pricing model. Okay, one more advantage of cloud computing, actually, whatever resources you are using, you need to pay only for those resources. And how long you are using, only you need to pay for that time period. Suppose if you are accessing any IT resources and you are using only for 1 hour, so it means you need to pay only for 1 hour. That is also important. It means you not need to pay for all. You need to pay only for those resources as per your business requirement. Whatever resources required for you, only you need to pay for those resources. So that is called as a cloud computing. So accessing the resources, like any resource may be compute resource, a storage resource, network, media devices, and database from the internet is called as a cloud computing. And one major advantage, you can access as many as resources as you need almost instantly. It means whenever you want to access any resource, you can get immediately. Suppose if you want to scale up your application, it means you want to add on some additional resources, additional server in your existing infrastructure, you not need to wait, you can get immediately. And whenever you want to remove the additional resources as per your business needed, you can remove also. So that is the advantage. It means scaling is very flexible in case of cloud computing. As per your demand, you can add additional resources and you can remove the additional resources. No need to wait. But in traditional approach on your premises, if you are required scaling is very limited, because adding additional resources in traditional IT approach is very difficult. But scaling is very flexible in case of cloud computing also. So you can access as many resources as you need almost instantly. So simple way to access server, storage, database, and set up application services. That is called cloud computing. So cloud computing means Amazon Web Services. There are several cloud service provider available into the market, just like AWS, GCP, Microsoft will provide Azure. So AWS is also one cloud service provider, Amazon Web Services. So Amazon Web Service owns and maintains the network connected hardware that are required for these application service, while you provision and use what you need via the web application. It means whatever you need, you can access via the web application. So check here, guys, on your private office, suppose, yes, no, whatever earlier you're doing setup, now this setup, we are moving into the cloud. So now you have not required to manage that infrastructure on your premises. Now that infrastructure available in the cloud, and whenever you have required, you can access. What the benefit of the cloud computing? There are a lot of benefit, guys. First benefit, if you want any IT resources, you can get immediately without waiting. This is a one major advantage. Second advantage, what you require, you can get in minute. No need to buy any hardware and software. They are available ready-made. It means now you doesn't need to purchase any hardware, any software, all the thing available in the cloud. As per your business need, whatever you have required, just you can ask to the cloud provider. Cloud provider will provide to you. And depending upon your requirement, you can scale up and scale down the resources. As we have discussed, yes, no, as per your requirement, yes, no, you can add extra resources, you can remove extra resources as per your business needs. Scaling is very flexible in case of cloud computing. And you can access the data from anywhere. It means it is not restricted, yes, no. You can access data from a specific location. You can access, in case of cloud computing, data from anywhere also. And your data is stored in very secure location. And one major advantage in case of traditional IT approach, yes, no, suppose any disaster is comes, yes, no, how you can manage disaster. But in case of cloud computing, no need to take care of disaster, because cloud service provider will manage, yes, no, that infrastructure in multiple places. So disaster can be handled also very easily manner. And second, next advantage, guys, in cloud computing, how much resources you are used, that much only you have to pay. It means you have not required to pay for all the resources. how much resources you are using, you need to pay only for those resources. So just like we can think, here's no cloud computing, just like take the service for the rent as much as you are utilizing. You can take compute service, a storage service, a networking service for the rent. So these are benefits. Yes, agility, elasticity, cost saving. These are benefits of the AWS cloud computing. So in this session, yes, no, in this tutorial, yes, no, we are going to discuss AWS. So AWS cloud computing we are using. So AWS is also one cloud service, yes, no, that you can use. And AWS cloud service will provided, there are a lot of services. They are provided lot of services. So AWS will offering lot of services and you can use those services as per your Go pricing model. So I hope you understand what is a cloud computing. Thank you.